Be live. Okay, we're live. Sick, bruh. Okay, let me get chat up. I always gotta get chat up. That's important. I already have the right page open. That's great, man. We should be about started. Is it? No? Hold on. No, that was Sunday night stream. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Hmm. Okay. I get a kick out of seeing myself. Real funny. All right. Oh shoot, I need to get my phone over here. Oh, I got it. Never mind. It's on the other side of me. Pop it out. Popping out the chat. Well, we already got. Wow, you guys are fast. Ikram, welcome. Welcome back, I should say. Metal Hearthfire. Loving the slicko hairdo. Oh, I do have like, it's starting to like, this is actually after I've had it all day. It starts to like fall out of the bun. The man bun, or I like to call it the chomage, which is the name of the Japanese style hair. Sounds cooler than man bun, chomage. Um, all right, dude. I'm stoked to see you guys here already, man. This is awesome. I'm loving this. Oh my goodness, what a week, guys. Let me tell you, dude. Holy cow. But first of all, let me just do some hellos. Dan W, welcome back. Seen you here a bunch already. Deepmeister, I think you're somebody new, but welcome to the stream. Always happy to see new people join. I can say your last name, Nisbet, right? Reneus? Renee? Is it Renee or Reneus? Is the S not pronounced? Hey, totally correct me if I'm mispronouncing your name. One thing I do not want to do is disrespect pronunciations. I feel like it's important. Carolyn Markey, welcome. Always love your comments on my stuff. They're always very like uplifting. They always make me feel good about any of the members videos I've made. I'm like, oh, Carolyn liked it. That's good. Smile, Kita. Welcome back. I almost forgot one there. Meadow. I'm not gonna forget you. Meadow Hearthfire. First of all, cool name. Meadow, are you new to this stream? Is this your first time? I'm not saying like you're new to my channel or anything. Like I think like most people who join actually watch the channel. I don't think anybody randomly finds me. I'm not so deluded as to imagine YouTube promotion is getting brand new people to my stream. I'm just happy to see people who watch the channel show up. I'm gonna wait for just a couple more, and then I'm gonna go into like a story about how insane my week was. I finished so much this week, guys. So much. Like, oh my god, I finished so much. Oh my gosh. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? The S is not pronounced, so it's Renee Nisbet, right? I'm just gonna call you Renee if that's okay. Am I saying Renee right? Is that okay? Thank you for correcting. Some people are like, oh, no, it's okay. No. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me. You guys are the people here making this channel happen. The least I could do is respect the pronunciation of your names, please. Tell me about it, bro. Week has kicked my ass. Oh man, Ikram, you and me both, brother. Sorry to hear though. I hope you're recovering. I hope this weekend lets you recover a little bit. That's what I'm hoping this weekend allows me to do, man. The hearth and hearthfire rhymes with heart. Oh, wait. The hearth and hearthfire rhymes with heart. Hearth, hearthfire. I thought it was like a hearth, like the area that a fire takes place within the mantle of a fireplace. I'm gonna call you Meadow. All right. Long time listener, first time caller. Excellent, dude. I'm always stoked when I see new people join in on it, dude. Thank you for watching for long term. I appreciate that. I got most people here are long term viewers, and man, I am one lucky man to have that. I think I'm uplifting because I'm almost 40, have 3 kids, and have seen a few things. Okay, so you actually have like this a lot of life experience. So when you do say stuff, it does seem like built by wisdom and stuff like that. That's what I always thought. I was like, she's got some pretty good insight on whatever I write about. So that's pretty interesting. Huh? that would make sense. If you've had 3 kids and you're nearing 40, you've seen a few things. Yeah, you've had a couple life experiences here or there. Um, I'm always glad to have other parents on the stream and on the channel. Um, there's so much more you understand about my life than those who do not. Nothing wrong with not having kids yet. Take your time. Don't rush into that. Um, kids are um, inspirational, a meaning to life, um, a vicarious, beautiful thing to live through, a life that becomes your new life. They are also a lot of work. There's also a lot of struggle involved. And I'm always happy to talk to another parent that can understand that aspect. Beautiful, wonderful, endless struggle. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe one day it'll all be paid back when they're 18 plus and millionaires and take care of us in our retirement days, right? Sure. Ikram, I like it, dude. I like when I see mods welcoming other people and like having a certain rapport. I love this, Ikram. This is very awesome of you, dude. You're going above and beyond. First stream of yours I'm attending. Been a long time viewer though. It's been a while since I've watched your videos. That's okay. That's totally fine. If you know what, the fact that you're a long time viewer alone makes you great in my book. All right. Nuno, welcome back. You've been here a few times. Glad to see you back. Jonah, as always. Long week. Everybody's talking about a long week. You would think, right? That's like, we had Halloween this week. Oh, so fun, right? This week was insane, dude. Been watching the Purge movies to de-stress. Oh yeah, nothing like what you sound like me, Grim, where I'm like, gotta distress. Let me play this game about my wife dying of cancer. Welcome to Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I can understand that though. Honestly, before I go to bed every night, I listen to like scary stories and stuff like that. So I can honestly understand that. Kids teach you a lot about yourself and your comforts. They do teach you a lot about yourself. They make you kind of like face yourself. I think they make you face yourself, learn a ton more empathy, consider other people's situations, and be mindful in the moment of like when you serve another person. And I don't mean like serve like your food service. I mean like you're doing something that serves another person. Like you start to understand there might be a predicament I completely do not know is going on in their life. Let me give them a little bit of, a beat to recover. You know what I mean? Hogo69, welcome back. Hey, Unrested. If you didn't have kids, what do you think you'd be doing? Still living in Japan or other country, maybe? That's a good question. I think I'd probably still be in Japan because I could still subsist on the really, really low pay. Even if I was only making 2,000 a month, which is like the average pay for a teacher, I'd be scraping still because rent alone is like 700 minimum. Like you'd be living in a dog water apartment for 700. But no, Nanaman. Yeah, Nanaman Goodai. Yeah, yeah, 1 month, bro. Yeah, man, that's cheap. That's cheap for America. Sorry, guys, my son's asking me about like, what do you mean like for 700? What would you like? Do you mean like 700 yen a month? Oh my God, I can afford that. Yeah. That'd be like $7 a month for an apartment. No. Sorry. Nanaman. 70,000. And that would be, yeah, like I said, a dog water apartment. I would probably still be kicking it. I would be lonely though. I would be very low. Like after you live this life of like having a family and hearing that noise, even it's like screeching, annoying, talking in the background, singing another YouTube meme. I don't know what. After you have that in your life, when it's not there, it feels very, very, very lonely. I'm sure Carolyn can attest to this, that even though you've got the constant clutter of noise and people moving around too fast, when you do have too many days by yourself, you're like, oh my God, what is going on? It's too quiet. Stop. Bring everything back. I miss listening to my two boys fight with each other. I miss that. That feels lonely here. For the first few days, you guys are always BFFL, and then you start fighting again, and Natsukaashi. Hold on, let me give a couple more. That's a great question though, Hogo. I like that question, man. Tattoo games. Oh wait, Eric, right? Mm-mm. We're not. We're friends now. We're not just viewers. We're not going by tags. We're friends. So I try to talk to everybody by their once they've been around here for a while. Once you start to hang out with us here for a while, we will start to possibly, if you feel comfortable with it, learn your first name. We don't dox people out here, but we try to learn people's first names so we can start to, become a little more friendly, talk about some personal stuff, venting is good. Um, you only share what you want to share, of course. Like I'm not going to be like time for a complete investigation in your life. I share a lot of my own, so a lot of people here also vent and share. And you're pretty safe because guess what? It's only us. It's only unrested viewers. You're not going to have anybody else storm in. So it's a real good place to um, blow off some steam. Why are tourists doing pull-ups in Japanese shrines and landmarks? I don't know, nature nerd. I hate it. I am not digging this whole idiots in freaking Japan garbage that's going on right now. I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna have to do a video on this soon. I am very happy to see though that Johnny Somali went to South Korea and learned real fast that South Koreans very different with how they respond. As in, most of them have had military service because there's a draft still, and they know how to kick butt, like for real, kick ass people. Like, and you want to, talk trash and storm their streets with being idiot. Quite a few of them know how to actually fight and will throw down like to, protect their land. Good for them, man. I do not promote violence, but there is some people who cannot learn unless a certain level of, how do I appropriately word this so as not to get my channel in trouble? There are certain people who need a certain level of force to get an idea through their head. And now, not only has he been attacked multiple times by just groups of angry Koreans, which good on you, Korea. He's now being held there and cannot leave because the police are kind of like, yo, you don't just come here and do this. Like, we're not cool with this at all. I'll bet you he didn't do any research at all. I'll bet like Johnny Smiley was just like, Korea, Japan, Asia, same thing. I'll just go there and be a jackass like I was. No, sir. Please learn the hard way. I'm hoping you're facing life right now on expert difficulty. Good question. Oh, wait, whoa. One too fast. Meadow. I don't know if you know, but I've moved from Twitter to Blue Sky due to Elon Musk. With the Bird app and change. Yeah, calling it X. I hate calling it X. I can totally understand why you moved to Blue Sky. I can understand why. I used to really like Elon Musk. I used to think he was really cool. I do not like now that he's all political. I don't want nothing to do with him. Like I'm not. You guys know me. I'm anti-politics. Like I'm hardcore anti-politics. Rental prices for apartments in Canada and the United States are very expensive. Dude, it's insane. I'll tell you straight up right now. My mortgage for my house is about $700 to $800 cheaper than a studio apartment in my area. And I live in the countryside. Like I have cows. There's cows and donkeys like next to my house, okay? And that's in the countryside. You okay? Did you fall in real life? Just got back from Japan, 10 out of 10 and planning to go again. Alpha Omega, awesome to hear. I'm glad you had a great time. You should tell us a little bit about like what your current experience is like. I won't be able to update again until I get back out there in summer. I will say, I don't know if you all agree with me on this, Alpha Omega. It really depends on where you went, but I felt like there's a ton more gaijin there right now. Like tourism is off the charts as far as gaijin being there and touring around and stuff. Ugh, that sucks if that's true. Doing pull-ups in a holy site. Yeah, right? Yeah. I will say this will change. This will change. You know, what'll change is either there'll be new restrictions, which sucks for me as a gaijin because I get affected by this. Um, and the other thing will be over time. I mean, like only so many people can go to Japan before like tourism starts to take like a down a downward slope, which kind of sucks for Japan. They really need it right now. Japan is so cheap compared to the US. It is. It is so cheap. It is so cheap. How much you pay for like a family of four people for like a meal at McDonald's in America right now? Probably like $45, right? It's insane. I could not believe it. A family of four in Japan at McDonald's, you're looking about maybe $20, $14 to $20. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, America's McDonald's is double the price of Japan. It is insane. And the worst part is the service is better in Japan. I guess that's not bad for Japan, but the worst part is like America still takes 100 years to serve you up the burger, whereas Japan is actually fast food. I went to Taco Bell tonight. 9 tacos. That's all I ordered. Just 9 soft tacos. It took a forever. Like I couldn't believe how long I was sitting there wait. Like I was just like, yo, I must have ordered like a rare item here. 9 soft tacos. They were taking forever. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was okay. I had two things happen that made me so slow tonight. I got it from my boy. My boy's favorite fast food in America is Taco Bell, if you guys are wondering. And I had two things that completely slowed me down on the way home. First of all, Taco Bell took 500 years. They must have actually gone south of the border to get the ingredients. And then, sure enough, a Manatee Sheriff's Office is like right behind me on the way home, so I got to go exactly the speed limit all the way back home. I'm like, oh, 30 miles an hour. Okay. I'm going 30 on this like big open highway area on 301. I'm going 30. I promise, officer. Last thing I need right now is a ticket. So they must get so annoyed though. They must be like, oh my God, why must you obey the speed limits now? Yeah, Japan is so cheap. All right, there it goes. Yeah, family makes a huge difference. I've always wanted to work heavy equipment in Japan, but apparently it's not a huge demand. Hmm. When you mean heavy equipment, you mean like cat type stuff, like bulldozers and earth movers and stuff like that. I know like to get like licensed, like their tests are like hardcore. Like they don't screw around. Like you don't use any of that stuff unless you have like these absolutely spectacular tests that like will, you've seen that stuff where they're like moving bottle tops off of everything. Like they have those kind of like I've heard it's hardcore because you got to remember you're operating those in like a really tiny space. Like I've seen them operate those in spaces that I'm just like, how? I would knock everything over. Like even forklifts, I've driven a forklift before. I've done like a forklift and I don't know what you call the other thing. It's like a hand truck forklift. I've done both of those, and like they do them in spaces where I'm just like, how are you doing? Like how? It's incredible. Yeah, having the capacity for violence and force is useless on jackasses. It's useful on jack. Okay, I was like, wait a second, Echrome. Okay, you totally agree with me. Okay, I got you. Um, playing the real life Silent Hill. I don't think he's playing Silent Hill. I think he's playing The Suffering. If we're gonna start talking about horror games, I hope he's playing The Suffering or Manhunter, Manhunter 2. Let's put him in that. Prices for rent and mortgages went up like 40% the last 4 years. Yeah, dude. Tell me about it. I just refied my home. If you refinanced. Oh, that's what I'm going to talk about. Actually, I finished the entire process this week. I finally got my interest rate dropped from 8 to 6%. It's saving me like almost $400 a month on my mortgage, dude. I'm paying so low now. Your mortgage is 800 a month, right? Right? A 1,400 square foot house. I'm in a 1,500, so we're almost on the exact same. Yeah. You got a good locked in rate, man. That must be a low interest rate, Carolyn. Dude, you're doing great. Whoever, like, however you bought the house, you guys were smart, man. I found it funny when I saw a video in which someone knocked Johnny Smalley over. It was in Japan. Yeah, good, good. Knock him over again and again till he can't get up, please. Back in 2009, he probably got a great deal, Carolyn. I'm glad to hear that. Florida is expensive due to vacationers. Yeah. Nobody vacations out here where I'm at, dude. If they do that, you'd have to. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. There's one place close to me called Sarasota, and like Stephen King has a house out there. So yeah, it's a pretty nice area. Well, no, he doesn't have it in Sarasota. It's actually an area called Siesta Key, right? Oh, all right. Time to eat, man. I hope you guys don't mind. If it's your first time on the stream, guess what? I eat almost every stream. ASMR, thank you, Maki. Maki says the ASMR stream. That's why I'm doing it. Give me a second here, guys. Let me actually pop up my chat on. See, what I do is, this is always kind of a weird situation. I do Osoroshi chat on my computer, and then I do Unrested chat on my phone. That way I can control it from two different angles. I can mod people, but I can also help people find the Osoroshi channel if they need to. Okay. Alrighty, tidy. All right. Oh, I love these streams, man. They are like the reward of every week, being able to hang out and chill with you guys. All right, let's take a look here. Catch up with everything. Oh, and what do you think of Gaijin Goomba? Gaijin Goomba, man, he doesn't know what he's. Sorry, man. Like, he's got like pretty good video quality. He doesn't know what he's talking about Japan. He has no idea. Like, the stuff he talks about is just like, what do you mean? Like, there's like one, I remember it was like, I forget what the game he was reviewing or whatever it was, and it was like, Japanese people have a close-knit relationship to robot dogs and robot people, and it's like, no, they don't. What the hell are you talking about, robot? Get the hell out of here. His stuff, he does like reference. He lived in Japan. He did live in Japan for a little bit. It was like a very short time. I think he lived there like a year and a half or something like that. And he's got this other video, and this is the funniest thing Tikio Sam ever talks about. Like, Tikio Sam has this impression he does of Gaijin Goomba, where he's like, for 16 years, I tried to get people to love Japan, and now the internet is destroying that. It's like, 16, bro, you were there for like a minute compared to like some of these people who make videos on Japan. Like, it's cool, dude. Like, whatever, like, everybody's experiences are valid. He does have like one video though where he like talked about how like Japan was really racist to him and everything like that. And I remember Victor confronted him on that, was kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, Japan isn't like ferociously racist. And he was like, yeah, but that was my lived experience. All right. It's subjective. It was my lived experience. Okay, bro. All right. Like, and he was like in like the Tokyo area or something like that. That's like the least racist place ever. Like, people are pretty open-minded to the international community there. Yeah, I mean, there's racist people in Japan. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, Japan, very progressive. No, I mean, yeah, you don't like deal with like confrontation. That's the thing. Like, no one's aggressive. No one's like, Kaede Gaikokujin. Why would they say Gaikokujin? That'd be funny. They say Kaede, but they say Gaikokujin. Kaede is like, go home. But like, they would definitely say like Gaijin. They wouldn't say Gaikokujin. Gaikokujin's like the really polite way to be like, Good sir, return to your house. That actually means kaide means like go back to your country. I have had like homeless people. I had a homeless person tell me go back to your country, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna be angry at you. Your situation's way worse than mine, dude. And plus, you don't know what his situation is. He's allowed to be pissed off at the world. Uh, Florida is expensive due to Oh wait, I already read that. Hold on, sorry. I saw a bunch of bands: Hades, Nekomeshi, Risky Melody, and Sirius. Wow, nice. So you saw some good stuff there, Alpha Omega. That's sick. Grammar error on my part. Don't worry about grammar error. Nobody, no grammar police on my board. Japan is cheap. I had no. Yeah, Prague. First of all, welcome to the stream. I think this might be your first time here. Prague, Japan. Japan is crazy cheap now. Now, I know everybody imagines they still got this imagination that it's super expensive. When I went there in 2007, it was expensive. America was very cheap during that time. Now the yen is like, what is it? What is it currently? Like 160 to the dollar. Like your money's like almost doubled out there when you go out there. It's so cheap now. It's so cheap. For 5 was 37. Wow. Why did it always like skip down like a mil? I never hit that little arrow to pop to the bottom, but it always like shoots me to the bottom, and now I miss like um yeah, see look, Alpha Omega says I eat like I'm two people. Well, Alpha Omega, just to I'm gonna sometimes you have to eat like two people because sometimes the meals are small enough where you can eat two meals. Like let's not okay. I eat like I'm two people, and none of the bills were higher than $25 in Japan. Yeah, like you could really have a crazy night at like yakiniku or an izakaya, and like your max bill is gonna be like $37. Like 30, maybe if you hit 40, then you have eaten there with multiple people and like ordered every damn thing possible. Like, oh yeah. My son is saying some are expensive. There's like really high quality ones, like especially depends on the area you go in. Like, first of all, there's some that are like super classy. All right, you can tell right away. I mean, but your average izakaya, your average like tapas place, your average yakiniku, it's not outrageous. Eric, I like this comment. I swear marriage is just constantly asking each other, what do you want to eat until someone rips their hair out? My wife cannot make up her mind. Um, I heard like a stand-up comedian the other day. Um, I forget what he said. It was something like, um, he said like, he said, I'm waiting for a restaurant to open up called I Don't Care, You Choose, because my wife always tells me that's where she wants to eat whenever I ask her what she's hungry for. I was like, that's a pretty good joke. The way I just delivered it, though, not very funny. My comedic timing on that, not great. Um, we do not eat at McDonald's, but we eat at Chipotle. With 5, it's $55. Wow. Chipotle. Chipotle is kind of like a much nicer version of Taco Bell. That's the best way I can explain it. My son's asking what Chipotle is. Um, Man, I haven't eaten Chipotle in forever. God, I wish we had a Chipotle out here, man. Um, God damn, $55. Holy shit. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, like I almost never eat fast food. When's the last time we had fast food, Maki? Can you remember? 3 months ago. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's very rare for us. Um, Taco Bell's prices are criminal. They're pretty damn high. Um, they're not they're not as bad as McDonald's. I'll tell you what, like I used to order like 3 sets to get like 9 tacos, so I just order 3 sets to get the 3 in each. It's way cheaper just to order 9 tacos and a drink. Like the value sets don't have any value whatsoever. Like there's no saving money from ordering a set. It's interesting to learn about other countries' economic situations like this when we have a cost of living crisis in the UK. Grass isn't always greener across the pond. Very true, Ikram. Very, very true. Good point there. Oh, Deko-chan, what you doing? You're probably looking for food. Drop something, Daddy. Please drop. Yeah, Daniel, my wife has been at this for 45 minutes. Yikes. Just my favorite always is when they'll say they're not hungry and then you order yourself a meal and they start eating part of your meal and you're just like, dude, what? It's all right. America has terrible service in restaurants and self-service robot kiosk will ask you for it. Yeah. I mean, fast food service in America compared to Japan, there's no competition. Fast food service in America is just straight garbage. Sorry. I've worked in, hey, I know, Bubby. I will say restaurants aren't too bad. Like where you actually have like a waiter and stuff, usually pretty good. I mean, well, whoops. I mean, I think that's comparable to Japan. Excuse me, I've got a bad case of the burps. Osaka Shogun, welcome back. Japan was expensive when I went in August 2012. It seems cheaper in 2019. You are correct, friend. Yes. Osaka Shogun. Actually, you know what, dude? Osaka Shogun, you've been here for like a while, dude. Why haven't I not? Hold on, give me a second here. You're like a total regular. There you go. You've been changed to a moderator, dude. You've been here so many times, man. You're here at almost every stream. Why have I not moderated you yet? Made a moderator of you yet. Now you are a moderator. Pallet jack. That's what it's called, a pallet jack. Yeah. Funniest thing I ever saw was a guy run a pallet jack straight off of a loading dock one time. He was okay. He was fine, but I don't know what happened, dude. He just ran it right off the edge. You know, nobody was injured, so that allowed us to have a good laugh about it. You ever wanted to see one of those things bleed out? There's a bunch of like stuff inside of it, like the battery and like hydraulic fluid and stuff like that. Just like all of it just pulled underneath it like it had like jumped off a building. It was incredible. You've been to college training for it? Oh, okay. I didn't. The only training I got was like, here, move these pallets. Oh, okay. Then about 9 yen is equal to 1 South African rand. Interesting. Meadow, you're from South Africa. I think you might be my only South African viewer. I'm always excited when I see people from different parts of the world watching. It's amazing. YouTube, that's one of the amazing things about YouTube, that I have a chance to discuss and interact with people from all over the world. I will never ever take that for granted. The more we can see and understand of the world, the more I think humane and closer in connection we can become. It's very important. I always try to educate my students about the world. Sadly, I hear some stuff that I'm just like, how would you think that? No, Japan is not in America. It's another country. A 6th grader asked me that one time, where in America is Japan? And I was just like, no, dude, what? I said something about one of the Filipino kids in my class, like, because one of my best friends back in high school was Filipino. And like one kid was like, isn't that racist towards Asians? And I was like, what are you talking about? My own family's Asian. And they're like, no, they're not. They're Japanese. I was like, oh my God, why? What has happened to American education? Oh my God. I love them. I love my students. I love my kids. You know, I care for them dearly, but I worry about them profusely. I really worry about, I'm not trying to talk down to the next generation or anything like that. They're our future. Like, we can't just be like, "Whoa, they really suck now. Everybody's so much dumber." No, there's things that they know how to do. There's like they're a billion times smarter than us at computers, technology, everything. Like, they can do stuff. To give you an idea how good most kids are these days with computers and stuff, we have like IT tech experts who try to stop them from chatting on the laptops that they're given at school. And they figure out like insane workarounds that you're just like, oh my God, wow, how would you have even thought of that? It's incredible. Like, the ingenuity they have to like work around the systems in place is like absolutely stunning. Their wisdom, not so much. You got book smarts, and then you got like wisdom smarts, like life smarts, and you're just like, oh, what is happening? All right. All right. Anyway, let me move on. So, if I go to Japan next year for like 3 weeks, how much will I spend after the 1K flight from Florida? Well, I mean, Hogo, how much you gonna go out, man? Um, okay. Are you going to Tokyo? Because like Tokyo is a little bit more expensive than the rest of Japan. Let's say, okay, I'm gonna tell you from the perspective of an Osakaite like myself. Okay, Osaka, you're gonna probably spend about if you had about 300 a week. And I'm not saying like you buy yourself like a bunch of goodies and things like that. 300 a week, you would easily feed yourself every day, no problem. 900 total for 3 weeks. If you're gonna go on a spending spree or something like that, like you want to buy a bunch of cool stuff and everything, I'd say bring about $2,000 and you'll have more than enough to really enjoy yourself. Like, you probably wouldn't even be able to spend it well, unless you start buying like insane stuff. Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. My son said like if you decide to go to Tokyo Disney or something like that and buy like food that costs 5 times more than normal food. Um, yeah, yeah. At least you don't smack when you eat. Yeah. I try to keep it as low key as I can. I try not to eat too many crunchy things. I think crunchy is what the word. When Somali was being sped in Osaka, some guy tried pushing him into the Yodo River to destroy his electronics so he couldn't stream. He managed to scream for a cop, then ran away. Pfft, what a loser. What a freaking loser. Like, that's I can tell you this is an absolute 100% case of karma. Karma is going to destroy that guy when he tries to live a real life. Because, like, I don't know, he looks like he's probably early to mid 20s right now. When he hits 30 to 35, he's going to have to start to look into, like, for real work. All right. It's going to, that's going to annihilate his chances of work. Like, any, you know, internet footprint he's left behind will be devastating to him trying to, like, no one would want to hire anybody with those kind of ethics. Or lack thereof, I should say. Alejandro, welcome back. Always glad to see you here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is mom trying to call you? Check your phone. Give me just a second, guys. Uh-oh. What happened? All right, you need to talk to her about kanji, bud. Explain to her how this week went, okay? Let her know it was Halloween week. Okay. Sorry, the wife's checking in on his kanji. Some days he's skipping that kanji, and she is not happy about that. All right. Anyone else think the karate teacher from Despicable Me 4 is like Tokyo Sam? I'll have to watch that. Okuni, what's up? I saw you left like a really nice comment recently that I saw, and I can't remember it, but I was like, oh yeah, Okuni was someone who's been recently joining the streams, using the little seals that you get for membership. I like it. I like it when I see people use those. I need to make new ones. I need to make new ones and more of them. I hand draw each one of these, by the way. Wow. We just went really too fast. All right. Non-winner. Hey, dude, glad to see you back, man. Where is I haven't seen Skeletor in a while. I hope he's okay. I hope he signs on sometime. Daddy Tube. What a name. I like it. Daddy Tube. Don't confuse nationalism with racism. Japan is a top spot to live, 29 years counting. Oh, yeah, Daddy Tube. You're totally right. You're totally right. Yeah. I think that's what you're saying right there is my exact idea towards Gaijin Goomba, a guy who like doesn't understand the fact that like people are taking pride in their country and he's like racist. You know, it's like there might be places Gaijin can't enter, and there might actually be a good reason for that. For example, like, you know, you have to be a Buddhist priest to enter some areas of temples and stuff like that. I mean, it's not about like, no, you can't go here because you're Gaijin. It's like, no, you can't go here because you don't have the specifications to get in, just like military areas. Gaijin Goomba is Bennett the Sage too. Talks out of his ass, acts like an authority on Japan. Yeah, that's what I don't like. That's what I really don't like, is that he acts like he's an authority of Japan. Like, ask the wise Gaijin Goomba, who's been to Japan one time for like I think it was like a year and a half. I don't think he made it very long at all. And how long ago was that? Like 20 years ago? Okay, I'm just sorry, I'm listening to the conversation in Japanese. I really have to focus. I want to hear what she's talking to my son about. Sorry. If you're wondering, like, why do you get so quiet all of a sudden? I have to really concentrate so that I can understand. They're just talking about what he did for the day at school. He needs to explain why he hasn't finished his kanji this week. Um, there's a YouTuber, Small Brained American. He was in a small town in northern Japan, and they made him sit in the back of the restaurant and told him it was because he was Gaijin. I mean, that might have really happened, but I don't doubt that. But that's like a rare thing. Like, okay, so you found a place that the staff's a bit of an asshole. Like, if they would have told, like, if I would have gone in there and they're like, you need to sit in the back because you're Gaijin, I'd have been like, all right, fuck this place, bye. Like, don't put up with that shit. Like, you know, like, uh, I've been to so many more places that are just like, who cares? Like, who absolutely cares? Like, plus he's talking about a really small area. Guess what? If you get to really small Hoboken towns in America too, you're gonna end up with some of that really weird esoteric racism as well. Like, no country is innocent of that stuff, right? Like, go to like a small tiny area of Spain or Italy, or like you're gonna run into that same kind of stuff. Is it right? No. Is it justified? No. Does it exist in those areas in almost every country? Yes. All right. 148 to the dollar. That's not too bad right now. When I was there, during when was it, like May, June, July, it was almost 180 to the dollar. Like, I was paying nothing. It was insane. I saved a ton of money. Itoen tea actually has no sugar, unlike Arizona iced tea. Dude, I can't. You guys have to have a friend with you when they come to Japan for the first time. And when they're like asking for something like tea, like be like, yeah, this tastes just like Arizona iced tea, and just have them drink like normal tea and check the reaction on their face. Like, I've had so many people who like were walking past a vending machine their first time in Japan. They're like, can I stop to get some tea? And I'll be like, yeah. And then I'm just kind of like, should I tell them it's not like Arizona iced tea? And then they pop it down. They get mugi cha or oolong cha, and like they're just like, oh, there's like maybe I think there's dirt in it. It's just like, no, it just got an earthy taste because it's close to the earth. All the stuff is natural. Like, it's just water boiled with leaves. That's it. It's real tea. Imagine that. Not 400 pounds of sugar packs poured in there. Sapporo is on my list. Sapporo's beautiful. Make sure you go to the Akarenga when you're in there. Like, it's called the Red Brick Building, and it's got this beautiful Ainu collection of like the tools that they used to use and like their rituals and ceremonies. Sapporo's so beautiful. It's got this real. It feels like maybe this is cliche to say. I don't know. Maybe tropey. I feel like it's Christmas every time I go to Sapporo. Like I've been there in the summer before, and it still feels like I feel like oh, Christmas is right around the corner. You know that kind of like giddy feeling you used to have as a kid when you'd get close to Christmas and you'd be like the air smells clean and crisp. You've got that little bit of chill, or maybe if you're in the north, like a mega chill. Um, it's always got that feeling, like just on the edge, on the verge of about to be Christmas. That's how I always feel when I'm in Sapporo. Good evening, welcome, Citron. Sorry, uh, Takadano, Takadano, Citron Takadano. There we go, got it. It's not the same on Chipotle. All right. I love it. I love seeing people say hello back and everything. Greet the people as they come in. Very nice. I stopped eating Chipotle. The one by my house is bad quality and gamey. Oh no. Okay, yeah, there's some stuff I've had to stop eating in America before. Like I used to go to the baked goods area for Publix, and I don't know why, but every time I eat their baked goods, I get like a ton of stomach problems. It's just I don't know what they're putting in it. I don't know what they cook it with. Japan isn't even that nationalistic. They're just a Confucian society. Yeah, I mean, well, they just have so much history. I mean, sometimes it's hard for us as Americans to even understand that level of history, like 1,000+ years, right? Like, dude, that's a lot of history, bro. Like it's a really bunch of history. Does Florida have? I think you want to say Daiso. Is that what you're trying to say? It's a Japanese dollar. No, 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 no. No. Florida, Florida, Florida have a Japanese store. There's like Vietnamese, Filipino. There's probably some Chinese places, Taiwanese places out here. I think if you ask the average Floridian about Japanese stores, they'd be like, "Where in China is Japan?" No, I love Florida, but definitely Japan is. I don't know why, dude. I get this asked over and over again. People will be like, "So you went to Japan? Do you speak Japan?" And I'm like, Yeah, I speak Japanese." Like I can't. And I'm telling you, like adults say that to me all the time. Do you speak Japan? Knees? Knees? Like almost all the Asian languages end with ease. Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese. Like, come on, come on, add it. What do you mean? Do you speak Japan? This is just me saying like Nihon, 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 Nihon. Yeah, sorry, there's no Daiso. That would be amazing if there was a Daiso here. I bet you would actually do pretty well. We have a dollar store, Dollar General, and such. Yeah, we have Dollar Tree and Dollar General. I shop at Dollar General, but honestly, these days I feel like dollar stores are more expensive than Walmart. Hyakuen shops. Yeah. Dude, Citron, dude. The funniest thing, man, when I got back to America, I could not stop calling them 100 yen stores. I'd be like, is it okay if I run to the 100 yen store? And my parents would be like, what? And I'm the dollar store. I'm gonna head over to the 100 yen store. You guys need anything? The where? The dollar store. Okay, here's the other weird thing that I can't stop doing. This is so weird. Okay, like a thing I picked up from Japan that I can like never ever seem to get rid of. So if I do something in traffic where it's my fault, like I accidentally like slightly cut someone off, or like I pull around an area and like I block somebody from getting somewhere, I apologize, but I'll keep doing like the kind of thing like you do where like you have to keep holding on to something with one hand. So the way you apologize is like that. Like you see Jeff, I'm like, go man, go man, go man, go man, go man, go man, go man. And they're just like, oh, okay. Like what? Oh shoot, I'm forgetting to capture. Hold on, sorry. Chat capture, chat capture, chat capture, chat capture. Come on, chat capture. Sorry, I totally forgot to do chat capture from the beginning. Properties. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Okay. There we go. You guys are important. You're part of the show. I always forget to do that. I wish there was a way, like everything else I have locked in place. I really wish there was a way to lock chat in place. Like look for the new chat window every time I open this. All right. Wendy's and Burger King are way more reasonable than McDonald's prices. Really? I'll have to check that out. I don't know if I have a Wendy's or a Burger King close to me. How's the Japan election going? I really haven't been following it at all. I don't really follow a lot of Japanese politics at all. I don't. It's hard enough to deal with the damn politics here. Um, I don't know. I don't know. The only politician I've ever seen in Japan who was kind of amazing was Osaka's mayor, who had, I think he had like 13 kids, and like he was really like altruistic. Like he actually did stuff that was like beneficial to the people of Osaka. Like he did a bunch of stuff, or like he reduced the utility bills for everyone living there. He got rid of the one law that was like, if you have a tattoo, you can't work a government job. He was like, screw that. That's ridiculous. Who cares? Um, he had some other ones that he did that I was just like, dude, this guy's freaking awesome. And I'll tell you what, it's because he has 13 kids. Like his ability to have empathy, I'm saying me having two kids, my ability to be empathetic increased quite a bit after having kids. His must be like tenfold, right? So like that dude really went out of his way to like that's the only politician I've ever seen out there that I'm like, damn, dude, this guy's sick, man. He did all kinds of like he really understood people's blight and everything. Like he was hardcore. Good dude. Good actually salt of the earth type of dude. There's this one really creepy dude who ran against him who like tried to get the electoral vote instead of him for mayor. And he was actually like neck and neck with that mayor. And at the very end, he totally bombed out because he was caught being in a line chat. So like line is like pretty much SMS, right? Like you'd have on your iPhone or whatever, Android. He was in a line chat with like a bunch of high school kids and he was pretending to be a high school kid himself and like being like, "Hey everybody, let's exchange pictures." And like the high school kids were like, "Yo, what? Like who are you? Like why are you asking for pic?" And like they investigated it and found out themselves because like I told you, kids these days know computers way better than we do. And they figured out right away who he was and they called the news and told them. And like of course, everyone was just like, yo, what the hell? That's disgusting, bro. Like, he didn't get arrested or anything like that because I feel like Japan's too lax on some of those laws. But everybody, everybody bolted. Everybody like was like, yo, screw this guy, it's disgusting. Like even his like campaign people and everything, they just all left him. He lost like all his sponsorships. He lost like the van and everything that they get to have like the microphone on with like 30 microphones. The only thing he had left was his bicycle. And like how like they have those vans that have like all these flags all over it and all these microphones. He just attached it to like his bicycle and rode around like that, like with like one hand on the handle and be like, "Hey everybody, I'm still running." And like he came through my neighborhood a couple times and people just would be like, "Get out, like go home." Like you're a like that's the only time I've seen like Japanese openly aggressive. Like they're just like, "Get out of our neighborhood, you freak." Like I was just like, "Go Japan. You guys are awesome right now." This dude, how pathetic. It was the most pathetic thing I'd ever seen in my life. Riding around on like a mamachari, which if you don't know what a mamachari is, it's like the 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 housewife's type of bike where it's got like two extra seats on it, like the umbrella holder on the front, the glove holder so that your hands don't get cold during the winter. Like not a cool bike to be riding. Very, very um efficient and well made around the life of a housewife who takes care of the kids full time. But as a dude who just got caught, creeping on high school, like this is not cool for you to be riding around, especially with your campaign flags added to it. Oh my God, like almost cartoonish. There's a couple people in politics that are almost like cartoon characters. They're so goofy. All right. Sorry, I got to catch up with what you guys are saying right now. Let me just send my wife a message. Okay. I will say Japanese people are the most helpful and kind people I've ever met. Yes, thank you, Alpha Omega. That's one thing I will never relent on. Japanese people are just nice, polite, like good people for the most part. Like, hearing there are stories, there are absolutely stories where there's like went to a restaurant, made me sit in the back, found a restaurant where it says no gaijin on the front. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that stuff still exists. It's there. It's real. Like it's not, but for the most part, the average Japanese person, polite, helpful. I can't tell you how many times I've been like lost and asked Japanese people, and they're just like, "Let's walk to the station together. I'll show you how to get there." And it's like, "Sorry, like what?" And they're like, "Don't worry, I'm on my lunch break." And it's like, "Yo, that sucks. I'm taking up your whole lunch break so you can walk my stupid ass to the subway." Like, yeah, they're for the most part, I'd say like caring, polite, genuinely good people. They made a 3.9 GPA. Damn, Daniel. That's good. I made that in college when I was studying art. Back in high school, not so much. I think I had like a 2.5 or something. It was bad. Well, actually, by the final year, by the year I actually graduated, senior year, I was up to like a 3.0. Um, that's cool, man. Meadow, that is cool, dude. Um, Hi, Scott. Did you try? Oh, Pepguard, welcome back. A Japanese beverage that gives you energy like the ones in Metal Gear 3. Yeah, of course, man. They work. They work. I will say though, America has better versions of that stuff. They work, but I will say they're made for like a Japanese body, which is tends to be quite a bit smaller, um, and much lower in weight. So they work, but not as like take a Stacker 3 here in America. That's going to be like a million times more potent. Has the American education system really gone down the crap, dude? I can't speak for the rest of America. I can only speak for Florida. And yeah, for Florida, I work in education. I love my job. I love my students. I love the people I work for. My boss is the best ever. Um, I have no complaints. They don't get to choose. They don't get to control the curriculum. They don't get to like we're given what we have to teach by the district. They have standards and benchmarks that they send to us. So this is not their fault. They are wonderful, caring people who want to see children succeed. Florida's education system is dog water. I'm sorry, it is just garbage. Like Common Core and, all these dumb systems they've come up with, like fast testing and star testing and stuff like that. It's garbage. Absolute garbage. Teaches kids nothing for preparation for actual real adult life. There's still no class that teaches kids how to balance a checkbook. There's no class that teaches kids how to start cooking for themselves. There's no class that teaches them like common everyday grammar. What is a preposition? Do you know? I bet you there's high schoolers about to graduate who have no clue what a preposition is. Um, it doesn't prepare them at all for like real life. Um, I'd say the one thing that is good that our school goes out of our way to try and do, and this is something my principal implemented, is she makes kids. They say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And then a lot of kids say some silly stuff like, "I'm gonna be a movie star. I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I'm gonna." We're like, "All right, that is awesome. That is great. So that is your dream job, right?" Now let's think about a goal job. And so this is their goal. Like, so if that, let's just say that happens to not work out, what's something else that like you've seen another adult doing that you might like to do? And they're like, "Oh, well, my dad works like as an electrician." And we're like, "All right, now that sounds reasonable." So she makes sure they like learn about like actual attainable jobs that are like sustaining life. You know what I mean? That are like not like, "Gosh, I sure hope I become like a million sub YouTube channel." Like she's really good about that. So like that's one, and that's like kind of a niche thing for our school. Like we're preparing kids for future careers and we try to make them be reasonable with what their expectations are. It's always good to have dreams. It's always good to reach for the stars, but it's also good to make sure you're standing on solid ground with a good head on your shoulders and realizing what's really coming towards you in the future. Who thinks Japanese people are not Asian? What? This was a student in my class that was like in like seventh or eighth grade. I can't remember, but she said like, "Are you racist against Asian people?" And I said, "No, my family's Japanese." And she said, "That's Japanese though. That's not Asian." And I was just like, what? I mean, to give her a break, I mean, she was like 13 or 14. So I, th- I think when I was that age, probably I knew Japanese people were Asian. I don't know if yeah, I probably knew that. I don't understand, man. Kids will be kids no matter where they are. They want to slack for time to time. Yeah, it's okay. It kind of reminds me when Asad say, "You're not Asian, you're Indian," or "You're not Asian, you're from the Middle East." India is in Asia, dude. What? Who says that? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you got to deal with that. That's like that's like people who don't understand Egypt is in Africa, and like, what do you mean? Where do you think Egypt is? Have you looked at a map? I do think it is weird to say African American though, because I don't think of Egypt people as like African American. I think of them as Egyptian, right? Like same thing. Like, if you're from South Africa, I don't feel like if you came to America and lived there, I would call you African American. I would like if you became a citizen, I'd just be like, you're just American. Like what? Why are we adding these extra titles? Is everything still accessible in winter in Japan? If I go in February or March, which city area should I stick to? I mean, the only thing that wouldn't be accessible is like pools and like water parks and stuff like that. Um, February would be really good for a lot of cities would have their Sakura Blossom parties. That'll be really fun. Um, oh yeah, thoughts, ideas, and what? That's the name. Says okay, but boomers are boomers. Similar thing happens in Japan from Inaka people. He is totally right. Absolutely right. Oh yeah, man. Like, okay, to give you an example of like what he's talking about, I get asked all the time where I'm from, and I say Florida, and they're like, "Oh, Florida, Arnold Schwarzenegger," and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "He is in government, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, in California he was." Like, what? And they're like, "Is it different?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like on the other side of America. What are you talking about?" And they keep getting Florida and California mixed up, and I'm just like, "How?" And here's one thing I'll never understand: Orlando, right? Orlando. No, that's not how Japanese people say it. They call it Oran. I'm like, what happened to the dough? You guys like to add a vowel onto everything. Why are you stopping at the end? Stop. Say the whole thing. Uh, what else? There's oh, I have had people ask if like everybody in America has a gun, and I'm like, what? No, I don't own a gun. And they're like, yes, but maybe everybody carries gun. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Even in Florida, like everybody's not walking around with guns. I think some people imagine it's like a Die Hard movie nonstop. All right, Eric, what do you? Oh, why does it keep doing this? It jumps all the way. Dollar stores actually are more expensive than Walmart. I worked at Family Dollar, and products usually costed between 2 to 3. Yeah, I try to stay away from buying anything at the dollar store. The only thing I'll really buy at the dollar store is often like certain household like furniture type items because there's some I can like put together in a way where it's like I can do more with this than what it's just supposed to be. Um, for example, this table back here, that's just like a dollar store table. Like I needed a coffee table really bad because we've been kind of just like balancing food on our laps as we eat. I had to put this together and that's that. Even the stuff that's on it, it's all dollar store stuff. But it looks kind of nice. That lamp back there, that's a dollar store lamp. Um, all my frames you see back there on the stuff I've painted, dollar store. They're usually pretty cheap. Like household items like that, they tend to be cheaper. But if you get to like food, like especially like the essentials of food, they're like way more expensive. I would never buy like milk or like frozen dinners or anything like that at the dollar store. They're outrageous. All right, sorry, let me move on. Nice to see we're on the same page now that chat capture is on. Yeah. Sorry, I should have had that on at the beginning, Meadow. Actually, you know what, guys? If you ever see me like we're going for a while and I don't have it up, yell at me. It's okay. Is it just me, or are politicians who actually care and try to make life better for their people rare? No, dude, you're totally right about that. I'd say the average politician cares about money for themselves first, money for their family second, money for their friends third, and then maybe like 10th or 11th or 20th down the list. Oh, I guess I should try and help out citizens in some way. That's kind of my job, but how can I get more money? That's all they care about. Money, 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 money. Prepa what? Good one, dude. I forgot what a preposition is, to be honest. I just know what the prepositions are. I don't know an exact definition of prepositions. A lot of issues would be resolved and dramas prevented if people just think, talk to each other, and hear one another out. Sadly, not everyone has that sense. Yeah, Meadow, I think you about nailed it right there. If people, and I don't care what your politics are, what your religion are, what your creed, code, ethnicity, race, anything is, people just need to chill out and talk. And like hear, why do you, okay, so that's the way you think. Why do you think that way? Like, let me hear why, okay, now let me tell you how I think about things. And this is why, right? But everybody wants to like scream at each other and jump down each other's throat. They all think they're playing for some invisible political team or whatever. Just like none of those politicians care about you, dude. Why are you like guarding them with your life? I'm not I'm not Scott, Indian, Creole, as American. I'm just American. Yes, thank you, Daniel. Yes, that's like I always have kids in class who are like, is he Mexican American? Is he Filipino? I'm like, no, they're just American. Everybody here is just American. We're all Americans. Like, let's not make up these extra names and stuff. Let's just be American, right? People go asking young American adults easy questions on YouTube and they get them wrong a lot. I saw something about it. I don't always believe those 100% non-winner. I mean, if you think about it, they just keep going until they find the most outrageously dumb answer. So, I mean, how many kids do they go through that actually like, I'm trying to give a little bit of credit to the kids answering and stuff. I think they probably do hit some people who are just like, what? Who's the president right now? Biden. Why would I not know that or something? Like, and then eventually they'll find somebody who'll be like, I don't know, Jesus. Like you're just like, okay, let's show that one. Okay. Uh, okay, hold on. People go. I've committed to planting cherry blossoms on my waterways on my farm. Dude, Daniel, that sounds awesome, dude. I, d- I don't want to dox you or anything, but if you ever have pictures of that, please send them. Like, if you could somehow send them to me, I'd love to see like cherry blossoms growing in America, dude. That would. Do you know there's like actually like cherry blossoms that were planted? I think it's somewhere close to the White House near Washington in Washington D.C. Like apparently at some point like Japanese gardeners came over and as like a gift to I think whoever was the president at the time, they planted a ton of them and they're still doing really well to this day, I've heard. Last week I was doing a lecture on microplastics in our local river to 17-year-olds and they did not know simple math like averages. Ooh. Ah, that's that's like my son who's like he doesn't have perfect English yet, but he still excels at like science and math and he's in the highest level class. Like he's like the highest level for his grade, and they're like, how does he like, even though he doesn't fully understand English yet, how is he so like enriched with all these? And it's just like because American school is like super simple compared to Japanese school. Like, are you joking? Like your science and math is like literally like 5 years behind what you guys are learning. Like this is what he learned in like his first few years of elementary school, and you're teaching him this in middle school. So yeah. They ask questions like, "What state is Utah in?" Oh, no, and they get it wrong. How can you get Utah wrong? It's such a big squarey chunk. What do they, where do they say it is? Are they like, it's in Salt Lake? What? Most people have guns, Scott, but not just out. Yeah. Okay, like even my dad owns guns, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yeah, he has one for protection, and he used to hunt, right? So he's got like a collection of guns, but he's not out with both rifles point. Like, what I'm saying is they imagine people walk down the street and like, look, I'm pro gun owner, just so you know. Like, I think right now the way America works, people need to be gun owners, right? Because we just we don't have a way to properly eliminate guns that would be safe. You know, if everyone said turn in all your guns, you have to, it would just be like the criminals left with guns. So until there's something implemented that makes things safer with guns, my biggest thing with guns, what I would love to see, oh my God, I'm getting political here, is just more checking more stuff. Like, you know, where, you know, like we do all this stuff for like a credit check, for a background check, for a job check, all this. But for guns, we're just kind of like, oh, you're not that crazy, right? Here you go. Like, I mean, there's like a little bit of a criminal background check. Like, I think like some states have like a psych check and stuff like that. But I still feel like it's too easy, right? And like, when you find out like kids have gotten guns before they go to like a school, right? You're just like, how? I do love the fact that now they're starting to imprison the parents behind the kids doing this kind of stuff with guns. That needs to happen more. There needs to be more responsibility. My friend teaches in Florida. Oh, cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. Good for them. Um, I They're needed. They're always needed. We're so low on teachers right now. Look, I love teaching in Florida, dude. My job is so awesome. I could not ask for a better situation. Um, but I wish the structure, the integrity behind what we have to teach kids was way better researched. Like No Kid Left Behind, that whole thing that got started by Bush a while ago, like quite a bit ago, that was garbage. Like if you look into the structure of how that works and how it's been implemented into Common Core that we teach today, it's straight garbage. Gotta bounce TTYL. Okay, hey, thoughts, ideas, and what you've been awesome, dude. Please come back whenever you get a chance, dude. You had some good input today. Really appreciate it. Split Fries Media, welcome back, man. Glad to see you. Shotgun and handgun should be legal. Anything else you do not need. The biggest thing that I feel like I can't believe we as citizens can get a hold of is hollow point bullets. They're banned by the Geneva Council as far as war is concerned, yet we're allowed to carry them as civilians in America. And anybody knows how, hollow points work. It's just like, why are, I mean, maybe that would be okay for hunting, but then they should be like, another level of checking to get him for hunting. You know what I mean? Because like shooting someone with a hollow point, they don't really have a chance to live. You're gonna die. The hollow point's gonna open up like a giant mushroom-sized hole in your back or wherever you get shot. I don't know. Whatevs. I don't make the laws. I'm not a crazy gun dude, so whatever. I'm not saying people who own guns are crazy. I'd be saying my own dad is crazy if I meant that. I'm just saying like like the for real gun nuts are like, like doing open carry into Walmart and then being like, why are you kicking us out? We got open carry license. Like, look, you can do it, but like, you're just doing it to like provoke. Like people who use it to provoke, it's just like, why? Why? Like you're making it worse for everyone else who is a normal, everyday, down to earth gun owner. That's what I mean by a gun nut. Buying a gun already goes through the FBI and ATF for background check. But don't like, I don't know. You know what? I'm talking about something I don't know enough about, so I really shouldn't speak on it. I just feel like there should be some other checks that need to happen. Like it just feels like we're still getting them out there to people who are just like, why, dude? Why did that guy have it? And I mean, I know there's always going to be like under the table sales that we can't monitor and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm pro guns and self defense for sure. Revoking this actually makes life harder for law abiding citizens against criminals. Yeah, see, that I agree with that. That's why I said like I'm pro gun. I don't think we should have them taken away because There's just no feasible way for us to take away guns and then be like, oh, but like, if you're a criminal, you should also give back your gun. Like, there's no, it's impossible for America to do that at this point. So until there's some workaround that could like figure out, here's how we eliminate all guns, and then these are the specifications to own one. Like, until we figure that out, I'm still pro gun. I was in that. Wait, Daniel, you open carry into Walmart? Is that what you mean? Like I mean, look, if you're in the countryside and you're in areas where like everybody does open carry because number one, like you're dealing with like things like I know like okay, Hokkaido deals with bear attacks. So there are people who walk around with their shotguns there. That's completely understandable. Like if you like, okay, I'm going into this store to buy some stuff. I also have my shotgun on here because like there is actually like ferocious bear attacks out there. That's not a gun nut to me. That's just somebody being defensive for an actual possible attack. I'm saying like when we go into like everyday normal suburban urban areas where it's just like if you're walking into a place where you know open carry is going to provoke a sense of like of upsetting people or like creating like a very uncomfortable situation, then I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? Like you're making it worse for actual like normal everyday gun owners, like by doing stuff like this. It's the equivalent of like people like Johnny Somali coming to another country and like provoking people. I'm just okay. Again, I want to reiterate, I'm pro gun, dude. Okay, I'm pro gun. All right. Open carry does make sense in some situations, but open carry done just to provoke, you're just kind of like, why, dude? Why? Right? Does that make sense? Wait. What did you say? What did you say? It's garbage. I was in that it's garbage. Wait. I'm having trouble following. What do you mean it's garbage? Also, the bullying is worse now than it was in past generations. I think bullying is worse now because of the internet. I think the internet really plays a huge part in bullying because it allows it to continue on outside of school. And like we've dealt with some issues even at our school where I won't say bullying happened. It wasn't bullying, but people like did provoke certain situations where we had to have police come. Like not necessarily making a threat, but saying someone else made a threat and they're talking about it online. And of course, we're not gonna step lightly to that. We're gonna be like, yo, what? Okay, we got the police at the school, right? We've had this happen a few times where like we've had to have police like investigate someone supposedly making a threat, and then we find out later it's just chatter online. And I think this same thing exists within the realm of bullying too. Before it used to be like you go home, the bullying ends. No one can continue to bully you from afar aside from show up to your house and like I don't know, throw rocks at your windows. Now it's like, oh, it can keep going and going and going and going and provoking. I will say one good thing my school's implemented is we have a special internet um, appeal case, not appeal, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Forum? Like reporting, like a area to report. And like it's specifically set up to report like online bullying that continues on after school. And they do look into it. They actually do look into it. So I'm very happy to say my school, for the most part, my school is pretty good. Like all of us as teachers, we kind of keep an eye on that sort of thing. I would say the people I work with, um, for the most part, very ethical, very into making sure everyone has an equal chance, very into protecting the dignity, the life, the integrity, and the structure of the school system that we have so far, as well as the students involved. I cannot say that for every school. I've heard, of course, some horror stories about bullying and stuff at schools even nearby us, but we don't have, we're a completely separate charter school in a totally different system. So we don't have any control over that. We can't control anything that goes on within public structure. Media, I'm sure Ukraine and Myanmar would agree. A while back, and just the other day, I spoke to a fellow nerds I follow about concerning stuff their names were attached to. Turns out things were not as I feared. to be, and shit got cleared up. Well, okay, well, I'm glad to hear about that. We don't have to worry about invasion in America. I mean, that is really good. Like, I mean, that is a very, very true statement. Japan did want to attack, um, America, deep within the mainland, past Hawaii and everything like that. And the one thing that kept them away from doing that, from ever invading, is they said they feared the average family had guns. And I think there's a lot of countries who consider that. And I do like that about our country. So again, that's why part of me is pro-gun. That's why I think there is some very valuable reasons to have a gun still. It was about fanfics, art, and nerdy stuff in general, nothing serious. Okay. You can buy a gun with no checks in Texas at a flea market. Oof. Yeah, see, like that's what I'm talking about, where I'm like, isn't there certain situations where Florida too right now has kind of like a crazy setup. Hey, DJ, welcome back, man. Always glad to see you here. Dude, I gotta catch up with my DMs on X. I hate calling it X. DJ, do you feel like, I don't know, I feel disheartened kind of when I go to Twitter now. Like I kind of almost, like I used to like get really excited about what are my friends talking about on Twitter. Now like I go there and I'm just like, do I really want to step into this landmine? Like, do I really want to get into this war? Like, it's just like I feel like I'm always like checking on information amidst like post battlefield situation where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to have to look at all the horror just to get to the information I want. Ugh. You brought up some good points about the gun thing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Um, I was in No Child Left Behind. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think even my generation was. Lucky for me. Oh, and that's what you were talking about was garbage. I got you now, Daniel. Okay, okay. I was like, wait, Danny walking around with like an AK-47 in Walmart? That's crazy, Daniel. Why are you doing that? You weren't talking about that at all. Okay. Yeah. I was lucky in the sense that I went to a private school, not trying to brag or like, ooh, I went to a private school. The religious aspects of that I was not a big fan of. But they didn't have to follow any of that stuff. They're just kind of like, oh, okay, that's real interesting. Anyway, we're going to keep teaching the way we teach. That's private sales. Buy one at a store and you'll need to pass it in. See, like, that's the problem, though. The fact that you can easily bypass that. And, like, how many guns are sold at a flea market? Like, flea markets, I think they tend to have, I mean, any flea market I've been to, there seems to be a pretty good gun selection. If you open carry in a city, that's insane. Yeah, thank you, Split Fries Media. That's all I'm trying to, that's what I'm talking about. When I say gun nut, that's where I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like, you're just making an uncomfortable situation for everyone. You're just like provoking like an outcry from everyone. Like, why do you need to do this? Like, just to like, is your ego like so pathetic that you need to carry this around and be like, look, I'm really into gun? And like, okay, you know? Johnny Somali is a great case for concealed and carry. Now, that's where I would make a huge exception. I've always had the idea that if I was the principal of a school, I'd penalize the parents of bullies in proven instances of bullying with a fine-based system. That bullying will stop real quick, boy. Yes and no. I think you have a good point there, Ikram. Um, what I would want to see is a series of warnings that are confirmed to have been read and communicated to the parent. I mean, one thing you do sometimes deal with is number one, you're dealing sometimes with a kid who doesn't get enough attention at home, hence they become a bully at school. But also you have a parent at home who's a single parent working like 50 jobs to just try and like survive. And it's not that they're being neglectful or not paying attention or not caring for their kid. It's that, what was that? Okay. It's not that they're, trying to ignore everything the school's telling them or anything like that. It's that they just barely have time to breathe, let alone read everything that's coming home with their kid. So, and then you have, I mean, you do have idiots who like you tell them like, "Hey, your kid's being a complete asshat. Please get this in check." And like they're just like, "My kid is an angel. They've never gotten in trouble ever in their life. They're beauty and they're wonderful and they're nothing but a grace to your school. And you're just lucky to have them." You do have idiots like that. And like luckily my school has like a policy like the kids and the parents sign a contract that says like if I keep breaking the rules, we kick you out because it's a charter school. And they'll do that. They have had to do that. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Please, more schools need this. But I do like that idea. Like fining would be sick. That would be awesome. Like there's definitely a few kids who I would love to send a few fines home to their parents. That's for sure. I think part of this is really interesting that we're having a conversation about this. It's like a really constructive conversation. I like to hear more people be concerned with bullying. That shows me like there's a lot of humanity in this group of people I'm dealing with right here. I think part of the bullying issue has to do with bad, undisciplined kids with less respect and growing up on trash talk. I think anti Christian sentiment is up, and it has a lot to do with it too. Hmm. I don't know about anti Christian. I'd say, like, honestly, almost all the kids that go to my school are like very pro Christian. Like, we have some other religions in there, of course. We do try to celebrate like Diwali, Kwanzaa, and stuff like that. Like we've got all religions in there, but most kids are pretty pro-Christian at my school. The one thing I'll never understand is a lot of kids like they'll be like, "Did you grow up with any religion, Mr. Ackerman?" I was like, "Yeah, I went to Catholic school my whole life," and they're like, "That's not Christian," and it's just like, what? Okay, you have no idea what you're talking about. I don't understand that whole sentiment of Catholic is not Christian. Christian is believing in Christ. You follow Christ. Yeah, Catholics do that. Wait, hold on. You had a good question there. Okay. But non-winner. One thing you are totally right about is number one, undisciplined kids. There is a lot of kids where, like, please understand the exception of the single parent who's working like 50 jobs just to survive. That's not the parent I'm talking about when I say someone's undisciplined or neglectful. There is so many parents who just let their kid like reign free. They're just kind of like, whatever. They get home, I put them in front of that little YouTube, and then they're fine for the rest of the night. I was just like, no, they're not fine. If they're like learning all of their rules, laws, reasoning, and everything from the skibbity toilet, they're gonna grow up pretty messed up. Um, these parents who have like no consequences, that's the biggest thing, consequences. There's so many parents who don't want to have consequences. They want to be best friends with their kid. You can't. You cannot be best friends with your kid and also be a parent. It just doesn't work. There needs to be consequences. Consequences, consequences. Like that, you need to have them. And there's so many parents who don't do that anymore. There's kind of like, yeah, but like, they're tired after a school day, so I can't really be yelling at them after they just went through 8 hours of school. It's like, yeah, yeah, you can. You absolutely can. You're the parent. Now get out there and tell them what the hell to do. You're there to guide them through life, and sometimes that's via tough love, and tough love involves being tough. Like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Did I ever think my parents had unfair rules? Absolutely. Did they completely make sense when I became an adult? Yeah. That's what that's the biggest problem I see recently is just like parents trying to be best friends with their kids. We play Fortnite together when he gets home, and he doesn't really have time to do homework when he's playing Fortnite every night with me. That's some quality time. And it's like, why not let that be like a reward? And the consequence is you don't get to do that if you don't do your homework. How about that? What the hell are you talking about? Even my own kid, I got to take away his computer and his phone sometimes because he won't do his damn kanji. So it's just like, you know, you gotta have consequence. You gotta have some kind of like something to hold over them. All right. Um, what do you think about the controversy with Dragon Age Veilguard? Um, and quite frankly, I've been kind of disappointed since Inquisition. Um, I couldn't even get through Inquisition. Yeah, I played all the way up through Origins, Dragon Age 2. Really loved it. Love the characters, love the story, love the whole blight idea, the whole getting poisoned until you become the creatures that everybody fights. Um, I think it's fine if people love the game. Like I heard it's selling okay. Like it's something like 69,000 players playing right now. But I'd say, in my honest opinion, um, the interactions seem kind of ridiculous. Like the dialogue has gone to trash. Um, and the idea that it's grimdark anymore, like it used to actually be like grimdark fantasy, like really like holy cow, this is gory and bloody and dark and dismal and like I love it. It's like it kind of almost in my mind it took the place of like the old Warhammer. You know that Warhammer has Age of Sigmar now, and I don't feel like it's as dark as it used to be. And I felt like, man, Dragon Age is still really dark. I love this system. Like I'd read into all the lore and all this stuff. And then with Inquisition, I kind of felt like it lightened up on that. Like it felt like too happy-go-lucky, and I was just kind of like, a comedic quirk every once in a while is okay, but when we just turn into like Marvel's Avengers, I'm not digging this so much. And then the newest one, Veilguard, it feels like they just totally dropped the whole grim dark situation. They're just kind of like, that was too grim and too dark. Let's be, more happy-go-lucky, free-spirited, never ever upset anybody, no renegade path. I mean, I could be wrong. I have no interest in buying it, no interest in playing it. I think the new graphic style looks utterly trash. Like it looks like a really crap mobile game. But like, you know what? If you love it and you're really enjoying it, more power to you. Like, I mean, that's fine. Like, even the games that I think are like, total garbage, aside from like I'd say Assassin's Creed, where I'm just like, dude, what the hell? Like, like with the whole Yasuke thing, I'm just like, do not support that. I'd say with Dragon Age, buy it. Go ahead, buy it, dude. Whatever. Like, if you love the way they've continued to make it a lighter and lighter happy-go-lucky playthrough, then go for it. Maybe that's the way you wanted it to go. There's people who might have been like, this is too dark and gruesome and gross. That like the people you love in the game and the people the groups you care about slowly morph into some of the darkest creatures that you also end up fighting. Like if that was too, maybe some people really love how light and easygoing it is now. Sorry, tangent. Good question though, Pepcard. Admiral Yamamoto, there would be a rifle behind every blade of grass. Very true, Alpha Omega. What was the No Child Left Behind thing again? I wasn't quite paying attention. Oh, okay. Pretty much, Bush, the first Bush, decided that because education had dropped so severely since the 80s, he was going to implement this whole No Child Left Behind, which was pretty much like kids have a chance to keep getting by in school even if like they're failing miserably. Like we have to have a situation where we can be like, all right, wait, take a look at this kid's grades, this is why he's failing, so we need to kind of restructure the program around them to make sure they're not getting these F's and D's, and we're not going to stop until they graduate with passing grades and everything. And then what it really turned into, honestly, is just we can't fail kids anymore. Like kids cannot fail a grade. Like I think the only grades kids can fail now is like kindergarten, third grade, sixth grade, and I think eighth grade too. It is possible to fail, but like you have to like literally do like no work to fail. Like you would have to literally like miss, you know, 90 plus days of school and never turn a single thing in. Miss every single test. Like you would have to have like a severely bad situation for you to fail these days. Very hard to fail. Um, But during my time, I don't know about you guys, but during my time, it was pretty damn easy to fail a grade, and you could fail every single grade if you were dumb enough to do it somehow. I did it for 7th, 8th, but 9th to 12th public. Oh, okay. Neto, her fire, no child left behind was basically pass everyone regardless. There you go. Thank you, Alpha Omega. You got it. You nailed it. Yeah, what they thought it was going to be was like, we'll get every. I need to get something to drink. I'm trying to eat all these tacos with nothing to drink. Hey Alexa, turn off guest bedroom.
Okay.
All right, let me know if I'm too loud, but I don't want to disturb your sleep, okay? Okay. Oh, my son fell asleep already. That's really rare for him to fall asleep this early. Holy cow. All right. Yeah, probably I'll go for a little bit longer and then I'll call her. All right. Yeah. Anyway, Alpha Omega, your definition. Yeah. So what they thought was like they'll bring kids up to speed so that they can pass. But what ended up happening was like teachers would pretty much get in trouble if kids didn't pass. Like they'd have to like have a talking to and everything like that. So to not have to deal with that, pretty much teachers are just like, I don't want to deal with this. Like I don't want to deal with like the principal and parents yelling at me. I'm just going to pass this kid so I don't lose my job. And that's what it turned into pretty much. It's real sad because there's a lot of kids who are sent off into the world and they didn't even know how to like read or write. Um, all right. Ghost in the Shell, Appleseed, not for kids in my opinion. I completely agree. I would even say like Chainsaw Man. Like I hear like little elementary school kids who are like in third and fourth grade being like, I love Chainsaw Man. I'm like, what? Why are you watching Chainsaw Man? Like that is not for a third or fourth grader. I tried to get into Dragon Age Origins, but I didn't love it. Yeah, it got worse and worse, honestly, non-winner. Like it after Inquisition, I gave up. Like I could only get through like 1/4 of Inquisition. I'm just like, where the hell is this going? This is straight garbage. Kids shouldn't even know the names or stories of characters of adult-only franchises. Yeah, I mean, well, there's like some franchises that are kind of like in between. Like I would say, like they're in the young adult area. Like for example, like Demon Slayer is kind of on the edge of that. Um, Fire Force would be like kind of on the edge of that, but there's a like Chainsaw Man is for adults. Like little kids should not be watching that. I'm back from my beer with my friend. What did I miss? We're having a pretty deep conversation about bullying, guns, and the No Child Left Behind failure in education. I talk too much. Sorry. No, Dan. You're fine, man. Please continue to like when we have dialogues like this going, I love it, dude. This is what I'm all about, man. Your comments, your talking, it matters. Like this makes the most enjoyable stream for myself. And guys, I could be wrong, but you guys enjoy this too, right? This is why you come on here because we have these like long, sometimes very existential discussions on life in general. My biggest thing is I don't like it if it starts to get like divisive via political or religious ideas. We have had, and this is not referring to you at all, Dan. We have had actual people come in here and try to like proselytize us into some sort of like religion that they're into, and so that's the only thing we're just kind of like no. And we had one guy like what was it like 1 or 2 weeks ago where he was like racist towards Asian people or something, and we were just like, no, we're not gonna have this. There's no structure or civility to just being openly racist. That's the only times where I'd be like, oh yeah, you need to cut it off. Like, no, Dan, please continue, please, dude. You've done nothing but added great stuff to this conversation. Kids shouldn't even know the name. Yeah, okay. I love how your chunky boy Deco is circling around you. Yeah, he is a chunky boy. Whenever my one friend comes over, it's really funny. Deco will like meow like so much. Like he's a really talkative guy, and he'll be like, "He's meowing because he's starving. Look at this poor cat. He's about to be bones. Oh my God, he's dying of hunger." Like it's just like a joke that he keeps going on with. It's really funny. All right. Blah, 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 blah. I found this show last night called something like Rowdy Sumo Wrestler or something or other. It might be better in English, but it's okay. There's a lot of Japanese shows that are just kind of like they don't add a lot of effects. They don't add a lot of like, special anything. It's just like a slice of life show, and you're like, damn, this is good. Um, The Witcher 3, the game The Witcher 3, yeah, dude, the game is amazing. Are you? Yeah, of course, man. It's really good. I think I own all the Witcher games. I don't remember playing 2. I think maybe I might have skipped 2. Um, yeah, I liked the Witcher series for a little bit. Like season 1 was okay, and then I started season 2 and was like, "What is this? I'm not liking it." And then I just kind of like after I heard Henry Cavill was leaving, I was just kind of like, "I'm done." Just want to say I'm a big fan. Oh, James, thank you, man. James, what do we got here? What are you saying, bud? Just want to say I'm a big fan. Just over 10 years in Japan now, and it's been cool to see your story over the years. James, first of all, congrats on your 10th anniversary in Japan. Um, Happy you're here on the stream. Glad life is going good for you in Japan, and thank you for being a longtime viewer. It means a lot. It means a lot. It does. Appreciate it, man. Oh, bro, I've been bullied all through my elementary and middle school years. Yeah, I was bullied a lot too. I was actually bullied for being skinny, if you can believe it. I wish I had the strength to really stand up to those bullies. I lucked out though. I was able to move to a chill high school after. I'm sorry to hear you had to deal with that. I did have my bullies. The worst for me was there was 2 years I spent in Missouri, near St. Louis, and the kids at that school were like just the meanest kids. And it was a private school too. It was a Catholic school. They just relentlessly bullied me for just about everything. My taste in music, the things I drew. Um, I guess they couldn't bully me for the clothes I wore because I had uniforms, but they were awful. Jonah, you need to use the dark side. Arigato senpai. Do itashimashite. In my country, Evangelion aired in Saturday morning national TV. My mom was always scolding me for a watch. That's a bit extreme, man. Evangelion was for like they had it for little kids. There's like scenes of a dude jacking it, and what the hell? Are you serious? Did they? I hope they edited it or something. Like, what about that one part where everybody like melts into like one coagulated being? That's pretty intense. My biggest lesson was when I had enough and fought back against a bully, kicked his ass, and he never bothered me again. Funny how that happens, isn't it? I have that in second grade. I did that. I had a kid who bullied me every morning in the cafeteria when we were waiting for school to start. And one day we were sitting there and he kicked me, and I grabbed his shoe and I took it off and just started hitting him with it, until the teachers dragged us away. And guess what? He never bullied me again. We actually ended up being best friends later in life. Like, by high school, we were like really good friends. Yeah, I still talk to him on Facebook to this day. He's a good dude, but he was my bully for a little while. People can change. That's all I can say. People can change. Um, that's overcoming a challenge. It's an Alpha Sigma move. Do you like the art of Final Fantasy's illustration? Yeah, of course, Pepcard. His stuff's incredible. Like, insane incredible. Like, I don't, I mean, I think probably most art, and aside from those, are like, I only enjoy performance art and abstract art. And it's just like, maybe those are the people who'd be like, that's not my kind of artist. But I mean, I think most artists would look at his stuff and be like, God, I wish I was that good. We used to get bullied for not being rich enough. Oh man, that's. You want to hear something awful? My wife used to get bullied for being rich. Like people would make fun of her for like showing up in like it wasn't a Rolls Royce. It was a Boxster. That's what it was. I don't want to go into it too much because that's her story to tell, but it happens both ways. A quick point: Catholic and Anabaptist are both Christian, based, but typically don't consider the other a true Christian. Yeah, I know. Isn't that ridiculous? Like they're all branches of the Christian tree. Like, and I've heard that before. Like I've had Baptists and Pentecostals and people be like, "You're Catholic, you're not actually Christian." And you're like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Don't you worship saints and stuff?" And it's like, "No, I don't worship saints. What are you talking about? Don't you worship Mary as a god?" No. What the hell? Where did you learn about Catholicism from? Not from an actual Catholic. Um, I met one of my bullies when I was rolling through the town I used to live, and it felt good to know that freak had to make my fast food. There are just desserts like that. Similar thing happened when I had a beef with this kid in high school, and after a fight, we kind of became cool. Can anyone explain this phenomenon? There's many different reasons why something like that can happen. There can be a preconceived idea of who you are from the bully, like they think you are this type of person. And once you finally come to terms with what you're fighting about, like it really gets real and like up in each other's face, and you realize, wait, you're not this person? And the other one's like, oh, you're not this person? You start to realize, like, I've been angry at this person for totally the wrong reasons. Like, I'm not even angry at them. Like, you ever like been upset? Like, you ever been like, oh, I hate that person. And then you find out more about them and you're like, oh my God, they're like a really good person who believes a lot of the same stuff I do. I'm not saying you're bullying that one or like angry at them, but like you have like contempt for somebody who later you find out like, wait, they're not so different. I think the same thing can happen between bullies. I lucked out and moved to a different city and had the opportunity to remake myself. I know not everyone has the same opportunity, but damn, save me. Jonah, I'm glad to hear that you did have that chance, though. I have always wondered, Scott, who were some of your inspirations you drew from when it comes to your art? When I was younger, Hieronymus Bosch, Albrecht Dorfer, um, a lot of the Leonardo's diary type stuff, like the stuff I saw drawn in his diary, like really inspired me. Like I thought that was like the most amazing stuff ever. As I got older, David Riddick. Who else? A lot of the artists from Mad Magazine, if that makes any sense, like the hyper detail, like everything drawn onto the page, in really really extreme hyper detail. A lot of those artists from Mad Magazine, Rat Fink, um, Pusshead from the um, Metallica album art. He was a pretty inspirational artist. Um, as far as comics were concerned, I was never really like moved a lot by comic art. Um, I had comics I loved, like Neil Gaiman's Morpheus, you know, but it's weird though. I loved comics. I like to read comics, but I don't know if there's any comic book art that like blew my mind. Um, Actually, there was one artist. I can't remember what his name is now. Actually, oh no, wait. Actually, Frank Miller was like a huge influence. Like I loved his stuff. I shouldn't say all. But there was God, there was this one artist. I can't remember what his name is now. He was an artist for a lot of the old Aliens versus Predator comics, and I think like Music of the Spears and stuff like that. And he did airbrush art that I just thought was like insanely incredible. I think he actually did one of the Preacher comics too. Preacher used to be a I used to actually some of the art in the Preacher comics, depending on who the artist was, some of those were really good. Um, those that's what I can remember from my youth. As I've gotten older, it's really changed a lot. Um, as I got older, it was like Goya, um, Hokusai, Katsushi Hokusai, obviously, Kazu Umezu, Ochazuka Nori, what's his face from like people think Dragon Ball, but I always Dragon Quest was more what his stuff inspired me by. Um, and then there was some people in like the really old. God, I'm forgetting all their names now. There was a guy named Ort who used to do Dungeons and Dragons First Edition, and then eventually moved over to like Dungeon Crawl Classics and stuff like that. I forget what his first name is, but I remember his last name was Ort. His stuff really inspired me. I don't know. More names will pop in as I'm going, but that's just a small, brief view. I had this emulator with an Evangelion game, and in the very opening, you see the chick do a high kick, and you see her crotch and no band. What the heck? Are you serious? Wow, 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 wow. That's pretty intense. I can't even keep reading that. I mean, I read it, but I'm not going to read it out loud. You understand why. During high school, was able to fly under the radar for the most part. Learned from past mistakes, I guess. All right, makes sense. In high school, I did okay. I was part of the cross country team, and we were a pretty tight knit group of friends, so I was kind of really lucky for that. What am I gonna do tomorrow? I'm gonna call. Okay. Um, let's see. Even got aired uncensored Ninja Scroll 2. Okay, well, do you like the Diablo games? I liked 1 and 2 a lot. 3, I wasn't so big on, and then 4. After I played 3, I was kind of like, I'm gonna wait till reviews come back for 4, and then especially after the Diablo Immortal garbage, I was just kind of like, oh, it's become a money grubbing game. It's kind of garbage now. The idea, the plot, and the whole, you know, and the art are just like incredible. I love it. Like it's so good. Especially the art. The art for Diablo is so good. Like it's like painfully good to look at art like that and see it attached to like this greedy corporation. Yeah, I know that artists have nothing to do with all that, but it just makes me so sad to see art used for such a greedy purpose. Necromancer from D2 for the win. Yeah. I'm back. Welcome back, DJ. I played Diablo 1. By the way, guys, in probably about 20 minutes or so, I'm going to sign off. I really need to call my wife and catch up with her on like some of the stuff my son needs to be doing. Surprised me because it was a Game Boy game. That's a Game Boy game that had that kind of graphic. Ooh, yo. Sandman. That's what I was trying to say. I kept calling him Morpheus. I'm so used to him being called Morpheus. Neil Gaiman's Sandman is so good. It's crazy. It's so good. The Filth. Yeah, that's true. Also, there's another one. Filth. Isn't Rage the one that's like the medieval one where like the Vikings are? I can't remember. They're like fighting all these other people. You're thinking of Ivan Novato. Okay, that's probably the one. I just remembered I finished Lorne's Lure, the mega structure mountaineering game, and you. Oh, sweet, Daniel. You remember now. Welcome, dude. All right, all right, all right. I just finished Lauren's Lure, the mega structure mountaineering game, and you should definitely check it out. Made me audibly give a bro. What? I was gonna do weightlifting and football, but I kept moving. Okay. All right. I know I'm cutting it a little bit short tonight. I got a lot to catch up on. We're gonna go way long tomorrow. I'm probably gonna start much earlier tomorrow for you guys. First of all, tonight, amazing conversations. It's God, it's refreshing to hear people talk openly about like facing bullying and you know, dealing with economic times right now, political times right now, and still seeing people have the common discussion of how bullying should still be stopped and stuff like that. It like lets me know I'm surrounded by a good group. You guys are awesome. Oh, actually, one thing. Could someone drop the Discord link real quick? Guys, if you haven't found out already, Discord is open to viewers now. We want to try and get more people in there. We're still working on it. We're still getting it together. The mod team in there is hard at work. I did not put any effort into the Discord this week, and I feel bad about that. I wish I had. I was going to talk more about my crazy week tonight. I think I got to hold off and talk about it tomorrow. I want to have like a nice long stream tomorrow. Number one, where I have like a long conversation with you guys like this, then jump into some gaming, mess around with some new titles. There's some cool stuff from Quest Fest that came out recently on Steam. I want to screw around with while you guys are on there. There's a few good, really weird Japanese games popping out of there that I want to check out with you guys, just like small demos and stuff like that. Jonah, thank you. You're on top of it as always, I see. Come on, join us on Discord. I'm going to talk to my wife for a little bit here. I really got to get back in contact with her. It's been a long week. And after that, I'm going to jump onto Discord and we're going to talk more there. It has been awesome as always. I always love this, man. Hanging out, chatting with you guys is so fun, dude. If I could do it all night, I would. I got to give my wife some time. It's our first chance to get to have an actual talk. Well, we talked in the middle of the week, but I want to give her a good long talk tonight and catch up. And as always, I love you guys. You're awesome. Keep being you guys because you guys have really some good hearts out there. I can tell. You guys are a bunch of people with some good, down to earth hearts. And let's jump on to Discord a little bit later, catch up. I want to start to talk to people about beginning a voice chat for playing a TTRPG. If you are interested and you even know what a TTRPG is, you may want to jump into that chat about let's get some gaming going on the whole role playing board.